Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. This is the dell'Emilia 2024. Now, today's race at 215 kilometers, about 135 miles in length with 4 circuits up the famous climb, the San Luca. We saw this climb earlier in 24. If you remember right, on the Tour de France, stage 2, it was that remarkable battle where we knew for sure that Jonas Vingegaard had arrived at the 24 Tour de France with some good legs because Tadej Pogačar was trying to light everyone up and get into the race leader's yellow jersey on stage 2 of the Tour de France, but he had Jonas Vingegaard locked on his wheel. They went over the top of the climb. They hesitated a little bit near the final. Then we saw Evenepoel just power his way back on the false flat, kind of little bit of a descent still coming in the finish. He caught on with about 1K to go. Those 3 riders went to the line. Tadej Pogačar finished just inside the top 15 there, but we knew it was going to be a good 24 Tour de France because Jonas Vingegaard has shined good. This climb here is remarkably steep at 2 kilometers, and we're talking 15% sections. But every year when I did this climb, especially when I was riding with Lotto and had some good form, this climb was devastating hard on the legs. Even with good form, when I finished a podium here with Lotto, it still hurt the legs massively that year. So when you saw it at the Tour de France, you knew it was going to be exciting. When we're watching it today in 2024 for dell'Emilia, we want to know, well, is there the curse of the rainbow jersey? We haven't seen that curse for the longest time because Remco Evenepoel didn't affect him, hasn't affected Matthew Van Der Poel. This is the week after last weekend's Road World Championships where Tadej Pogačar attacked with 100 kilometers to go and then went solo with just over 50 kilometers to go to hold off a bunch of knuckleheads behind, mainly Team Belgium, that messed up their tactics throughout the Road World Championships, left Tadej Pogačar out there. He held everyone off in solo victory there at the Men's Road World Championships. This will be his first time in the rainbow jersey. But when the cameras come on, will the curse of the rainbow jersey affect Tadej Pogačar? Like I said, not Matthew Van Der Poel, not Remco Evenepoel. But what I really think the curse is, since Tadej Pogačar has gotten on good form, the curse has really been nobody knows how to race their bike behind Tadej Pogačar. They're always racing for second. The Slovenians always going up the road, and then they're messing up tactics. I already explained it to you at the Road World Championships. If we backed it up another week before that, or another couple weeks, excuse me, we go to Canada and Montreal, same thing. They forget how to race. They let the best rider in the world go up the road, and then they start racing for second place because they're not a cohesive unit back there working together to try to bring time and just hold time on Tadej Pogačar, like Belgium and the Netherlands could have did last week at the Road World Championships. They have to hold time on him, let his legs get a little bit tired, fatigued. Then the favorites from those teams have to throw in the big attack and hope they can bridge across to Tadej Pogačar, who maybe a little bit of that fantastic legs from the Slovenian Tadej Pogačar has worn off a little bit at the Road World Championships. Maybe they could catch him, bring it in, and then possibly somebody else is wearing the Road World Championships. But the curse really has to be, since 2020, since that penultimate stage at the 2020 Tour de France at Planche de Belfi, the individual time trial, the curse for the whole peloton has to be that everybody out there is a knucklehead and has forgotten how to race their bike. Well, let's see if it's changed here at dell'Emilia now that Tadej Pogačar is wearing the rainbow jersey. When the cameras come on, we got just under 80 kilometers to go. 5 riders at the front. Don't get friendly with these guys. They're all going to get caught because there's some knuckleheads out there. And with a five riders up front and a 4-minute gap, UAE team members are on the front, of course, because it's a simple tactic 101 here when you're coming into the San Luca climb and doing 5 times up it at 4 laps after each summit. So, if you're Tadej Pogačar into the finish, if your UAE team members, has to be tactic 101. That's why they're riding the front. But as we see, coming just about 70 kilometers to go, peloton's getting a little bit nervous. Riding a little bit curb to curb. Team Ineos is up there. EF Education, UAE team members, of course. As the whole peloton's going to curb to curb. That's because we see the 5 riders. They're going to start the climb here. This is the last climb before you get into the circuit. This climb, 3 kilometers at 10%. And you see these 5 riders coming into this. They're going to blow up right away. Behind, EF Education won a little bit of the battle as it's getting a little twisty and small roads there. We see EF Education right in the front. They'll hold it for a little bit, and then the climb's going to start proper. Now we start seeing the knuckleheads really going to work. Just before this climb, when it's curb to curb, it's okay to be riding the front because you want to get your climber into the start of this climb because it's 10% and anything can happen. But once you get into this climb, if you're anyone other than Tadej Pogačar, Primoz Roglic on good form, and we haven't seen good form since the Vuelta a España, a couple stages in the Vuelta a España. I don't even think we've seen his good form there, but maybe a couple stages if you wanted to argue with me, I'd give you. But since then, at the individual time trial, he wasn't good. At the Men's Road World Championship, and of course he wasn't good at the Road World Championships either for Tadej Pogačar, where he rode about 200 meters on the front when he was attacking until Tadej Pogačar lit everyone up. So, if you're Primoz Roglic and you're Bora Hansgrohe, I would say you want this climb to go incredibly soft so you can save your legs as long as you possibly can. That's why we don't see them on the front. If you're Remco Evenepoel, okay, you won the men's individual time trial, but you blew your legs up on the men's road race. And if you really look at all his attacks at the men's road race, Remco Evenepoel wasn't that spectacular on that day either. Better than just about anyone in the peloton besides Tadej Pogačar, but not good enough to blow them up. So on this climb, if you know Tadej Pogačar can go from 100 kilometers out last weekend at the Men's Road Championship, if you're pseudo quick-step, you want to go slow, that's why they're not on the front. So who do we see the knuckleheads on the front? That is Lidl Trek. That's Gabriel Zabier as the climb starts proper. He's even got a gap on his teammates. Looks back over his shoulder. He has to slow down, get his teammates on there. Now Lidl Trek start drilling it up a climb that's 10% and 3 kilometers long. You do not want to be going up a climb this steep with Tadej Pogačar on your wheel. Remco Evenepoel, who's better than anyone else at the Men's Road World Championships, just a hair. And when you look at Primoz Roglic, who knows when that Slovenia might come on form. So you don't want to go hard up this 10% climb, but Gabriel Zabier is riding the front. It's got to be his director sportifs telling him to ride full gas. It's a knucklehead move. For his teammates, when we're looking here at dell'Emilia, you know they have Ciccone that they're hoping to win with, but Ciccone's never ridden with his team on the front and won a big race against a Tadej Pogačar, a Primoz Roglic, and a Remco Evenepoel in a one-day race, so they're knuckleheads. Gabriel Zabier is not listening to me, so he's going full gas. We see the brake blow up. There's going to be 2-3 riders together as they go over the top and drop down the descent. That's 3 riders. And then when we look back there at the peloton of GC favorites, I'll call it about 45 riders back there. Gabriel Zabier is still going full gas on the front. He's got the time down to about 30 seconds. We get into just under 50 kilometers to go. The 3 riders up front there, the Cofidis rider, he's like Benjamin. He's like, this race is over, guys. I'm cutting this out, and we're sitting up. Let's call this good. There's taps on the back now. Then we're going to see Gabriel Zabier catch up to the back wheel there of the breakaway riders and go straight by him. He's got 45 riders just about on his wheel. But what can you do? What can you possibly do at this moment? This was a ridiculous tactic. You got the second peloton back there chasing the first. They're about 15 seconds behind. Everything's going to come back together as we see Tadej Pogačar always looking back over his shoulder. He was never worried because he was getting a free ride with other teams than his team going full gas up the climb. He's like, this is free money right here as Gabriel Zabier is pulling everyone into the circuit. Now things are getting a little bit nervous again as they're in the city. They're going curb to curb, and we see Remco Evenepoel's at the front. Just in front of him is Israel Premier Tech leading out the Belgian rider Remco Evenepoel. He doesn't want to get caught napping like he did at the Men's Road World Championships when he got swarmed and started that lap that Tadej Pogačar lit everybody up on where he was 40th position. Now he's sitting second position. He's starting the first ascent here of San Luca. San Luca, as I've already told you, super difficult. Remco Evenepoel does not wait long to hit the knucklehead button. He starts riding the front right now, looking over his shoulder. Who's he got on his wheel? It's Tadej Pogačar on his wheel. We look back, it's the American rider Jorgensen right there from Visma Lease Bike. And then we see Primoz Roglic from Bora Hansgrohe. I backed the film up just a hair just to find you another good picture to show you how many Bora Hansgrohe riders there are. Primoz Roglic, as I told you, is there. Lipovets is in this group. Danny Martinez is in this group. And then they got one other guy, and he's a Giro d'Italia winner. That's Jai Hindley. 4 Bora Hansgrohe riders at the front, but we got Remco going full gas the first time up the climb. This is a knucklehead move from the Belgian rider. As we know, back there is Tadej Pogačar sitting on his wheel, and we know Remco Evenepoel knows because he keeps looking back over his shoulder. Okay, the next knucklehead move is going to come from Astana. Astana throws in acceleration just as the hill here starts to flatten out a bit and stair step on San Luca. Once it starts to flatten out, Astana rider throws an attack, and he's got Tadej Pogačar on his wheel and Jorgensen, and he's blown up the peloton. He's got a gap back there, and we see all of a sudden the Astana rider looks back over his shoulder, sees Tadej Pogačar. Pogačar looks back too. Then the cameras come back up to the front there, and we see that the Astana rider's got his tongue hanging out all over the place. Looks like my 125-pound Anatolian shepherd after you just get done giving him for a walk, because he's a big boy and he can't climb at all. So my dog's hurting just as much as the Astana rider with his tongue hanging out. Then we lose the camera. It's been raining all day, miserable weather. I imagine a little bit cold because I saw some jacket-ons. But Tadej Pogačar doesn't have a jacket on, because when the cameras come back to the Slovenian, he's throwing in an attack, and he's got the American rider Jorgensen on his wheel. He's going full gas. They got a gap on everyone else. And then the American rider's going to find out again for I don't know how many times Jorgensen has to get slapped in the face from somebody that's got better legs than him. But Tadej Pogačar is doing it again here at dell'Emilia as he's gapped Jorgensen up. Jorgensen needs to go back to the Giro d'Italia. Well, Ben O'Connor can teach him a lesson. In the first week of the Giro d'Italia, when Ben O'Connor was following Tadej Pogačar, he learned right away not to go in the red. Now Jorgensen's going in the red. He's getting popped, and Tadej Pogačar's going solo. We're going to go up and over this climb, but as we look at the gap at 30 seconds to Jorgensen, who's waiting up now for the group behind, would have been better if he just put one of his teammates on the front. He had Wilco Kelderman, Till Valters is there, and Johannesson was somewhere in the picture, but I don't know if he was there at the moment. But certainly Wilco Kelderman and Till Valters could have rode some tempo. Instead, Jorgensen's burned up his legs. Now he's backing off the throttle, waiting for the peloton to come up. When we start looking over the peloton at the first time of the summit with 4 laps to go, we look at the group, I'll call it about 30 guys, maybe 25. Either way, we start looking at the middle of this group. We see Remco Evenepoel in the middle. We go further back down. Who's third from last? That I'll call is Ciccone. Either way, it's Lidl-Trek for sure, and it's the first rider in this group of 30. Gabriel Xavier, good job. You rode full gas up a 10% climb with 65 kilometers to go, blew the whole peloton up, and now your teammate's swinging in this group of 25, 30 riders at the back of the group and cannot follow the moves of Tadej Pogačar, Jorgensen, or anyone else because he's third from last, as I've already told you. We look a little bit further back, we see some stragglers coming, but Tadej Pogačar, as he's dropping down the descent, if he keeps his bike upright and you're sitting on the Chesterfield thinking like I am with a little bit of an educational hair, you know for sure Tadej Pogačar is going to win Giro d'Emilia, because once they start coming up the climb for the second time, San Luca, we see there's no cohesion back there because it's Lipovets from Bora Hansgrohe throwing in attack. He'll get caught and brought back right away. Once they get to the summit of the climb, we see that Primož Roglič is no longer in the picture. He's dropped out. We see Remco Evenepoel, his gold helmet from the Olympic road race, he's dropped out. He's out of the picture. And Lidl-Trek, where are these guys at? They're not in the race anymore, and this is the second time up. They've only completed 1 lap. But Tadej Pogačar is, and he's still up the road, going with about a 45, 50-second gap. Dropping down the descent, looks amazing through all the corners, as the Slovenian always does. We look further back and see who's dropping down the descent. It's Tom Pidcock back there that was doing some full gas the first time down, but now we're going the second time down, and we see it's Lipovets just in front there of the rider there from Visma bike, Attila Valters, in the national jersey. As Lipovets makes it through the right turn there, we're going to see Attila Valters. He's swinging hard to the left side out as is a right turn. He's going out. He's dropping into the ditch, and Attila Valters, Visma bike, somehow is holding it up. You see him get back up on the curb, and we're going to get a picture just of the glance of the rider coming back. That'd be third rider back there, but then we lose it. Would have been a difficult moment for that third rider coming out of this turn, and you have Attila Valters in front of you, but then the cameras will finally come back up and find Lipovets, who's going solo. But solo is not the way to catch Tadej Pogačar. As I've told you many times, there's no way you can catch the Slovenian Tadej Pogačar solo. You got to keep the group together. So Tadej Pogačar's throwing in a monster ride. He's starting San Luca again. And the biggest thing he's got to worry about here are the fans. He's got the fan running alongside of him with his phone hanging out. I love the fans running alongside of me. I never want to see the fans disappear, but I don't want to see the fans running alongside of me with his cell phone out doing a selfie picture with Tadej Pogačar as he's ducking the other fan on his left with his elbow out while he's doing a selfie, and he makes it through there with Tadej Pogačar on the right side of him. Keeps running, then he has to just edge around a couple fans there, 2 of them, as he just misses both of those with their fans hanging, with their cell phones hanging out too. Tadej Pogačar's looking fantastic. That runner there finally pulls over to the left side. Tadej Pogačar still going solo. behind what's happening. Lipovic is doing a solid job, but there's no way he can bring back time on Tadej Pogačar as the Slovenians just extending it lap after lap. We go up to 1 lap to go, and we start seeing Tadej Pogačar still flying on the pedals up there. He's got 9 kilometers to go on this circuit with the climb San Luca on it. He's just got to drop down and climb that one more time. Lipovic will go over behind, and we'll call it about 2 minutes and 10 seconds back there, and then we start seeing a group of 3. It's Tom Pidcock, and it's the Canadian Michael Woods in the Canadian National Championship jersey. They got one other rider along for company. Now, can Lipovic hold off still? I don't know, but we know Tadej Pogačar can. He drops down the descent. He starts San Luca again. This time he's got a little 5-year-old spectator running alongside of him there on the left side. As he back the film up just a hair, you see him, probably his parent right there next to him. He looks back over his shoulder, sees Tadej Pogačar, the 24 Tour de France champion and multi-Tour de France champion 3 times, coming up alongside of him. He starts running full gas. He looks over at Tadej Pogačar and then waves the Slovenian through as Tadej Pogačar is going to set a steady rhythm going up this final climb. We look back. Lipovic has still got a gap of about 2 minutes and 10 seconds there on Tadej Pogačar. I'll call it 2:30, excuse me. We look a little bit further back and we see the 3 chasers that are coming, which we don't catch on camera, but we know Lipovic has got about a 50-second gap on them when he starts to climb proper. We go up to 1 kilometer to go. Tadej Pogačar, of course, is still solo. He's going to win Giro Emilia. He's going to start flying up the course. And then when we go back to Lipovic, he's getting caught at about 1 kilometer, 1.1 there. As we see, there's Italian rider Pigonzoli there that's riding the front. He's got Tom Pidcock and he's got Michael Woods there, and he's catching Lipovic with about 900 meters to go. As he's catching, he's throwing in attack, getting a gap, but he's still got Tom Pidcock and Michael Woods on his wheel. We go up front. We're coming under the last few hundred meters here. The Slovenian Tadej Pogačar, UAE team member, it's in the rainbow band jersey, starts looking back over his shoulder. Then he starts sitting up. Arms are going wide as he crosses the line. He's got them both wide, and he's celebrating his first victory here in the Men's Road World Championship rainbow band jersey. There is no curse here for Tadej Pogačar, that's for certain. The curse is on the whole peloton, and it started in 2020. We start looking further back. We see as the camera finds Tom Pidcock going full gas sprinting with just about 150 meters to go. And we see Pigonzoli there as he's coming around Michael Woods. Once he comes around Michael Woods blows, but Tom Pidcock does not. He'll cross the line for second on today's Giro Emilia. And then third on the stage, Pigonzoli, Davide right there. He's going to round out for Cometa a podium here. Michael Woods will finish third, and that's it. Everyone else is blown back there. But these guys still lost about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes to Tadej Pogačar, the Slovenian. Now, we got a couple more races coming up for the Slovenian. So, can the current road world champion, can he win 2 more races back-to-back? Well, when we look at Tre Valley, we see that he can certainly win this with a hilly circuit coming into the finish throughout that whole course. Then when we go into Lombardia, Lombardia is one of the 5 monuments, and it's the last real big race of the 24 season. And that race is magnificent. Beautiful spectators, beautiful courses, beautiful climbs, and Tadej Pogačar should be the outright favorite to win not just Emilia, but win next weekend and finish it off at Tour of Lombardy for sure at the end of the season. As long as his teammates race smart, they got it in the bag, because everyone else has got the curse of Tadej Pogačar wrapped around them since 2020. No one's figured out how to beat Tadej Pogačar. If UAE team members have a strong team, there is no way to beat Tadej Pogačar. But if Tadej Pogačar has a bad moment, if his team's falling apart, you certainly don't want to race like today, where Gabriel Xavier is attacking with 65 kilometers to go on a 10% climb, and Remco Evenepoel's throwing up attack on the first time up San Luca. That is not the way to do it. If you want to beat Tadej Pogačar, the first break of the day has to be significant in size, so it puts pressure on UAE team members to blow up. Once Tadej Pogačar's team blows up, you cannot be working with UAE team members throughout the race at all, pulling Tadej Pogačar. I've said that many, many times. So, once you get a big break up the road, if UAE team members start to blow up, then you have to attack Tadej Pogačar throughout the course, hopefully from a little bit further out than on the steepest climb possible in the course. You want to attack him on softer sections when he's isolated. So, big breaks have to go up the road, his team has to blow up, and then you have to bridge across to that break and then hope Tadej Pogačar was isolated and can't follow you on the softer parts of the climbs or the descents or the flat roads or the crosswinds wins, but don't attack Tadej Pogačar on 10% climbs. You're a knucklehead if you did that, and if you're Remco Evenepoel attacking on a 15% climb, ooh, that's even worse than Gabriel Xavier. Either way, Pseudo Quickstep blew it today. Liddell Trek, you guys blew it big time. Bora Hansgrohe, Lipovitz, attacking, trying to go solo. Nope, you got to work together. Keep your teammates on the front. You got to have Visma Leasebike keep their teammates on the front too. Hopefully some other team comes to the front. That is the only way you can hope to beat Tadej Pogačar, and you need a little hope that Tadej Pogačar's legs are not 100%. Otherwise, well, maybe he goes from 100 kilometers out. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys for the next big race coming up real soon. Can Tadej Pogačar make it 2 in a row in the Rainbow Band jersey? Sure he can. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys real soon.